Good morning, everyone. Today, we are going to talk about a very interesting topic in the field of psychology and in our everyday lives, motivation. Now, when we talk about motivation, we are looking at a number of words that come along with it. We are looking at goals, attitude, ideas, performance, support, and success. These are just some of the terms that come alongside motivation. Now, to understand what is motivation, you need to understand three terms. So, motivation is the process that accounts for an individual's intensity, direction, and persistence of effort towards attaining a goal. Now, let's see what these three elements mean. Intensity refers to how hard are you willing to, or how much effort are you willing to put in to achieve the goal. Direction, are you moving towards the goal with every small task that you accomplish? And persistence is how long are you willing to stick on to that task or stay committed to that task unless it is achieved. So the process by which activities are started, directed, and continued so that physical or psychological needs or wants are met is known as motivation. Now, when we look at the process of motivation or the nature of motivation, it has three aspects: a motivating state, behavior aroused and directed by the state, and a goal towards which this behavior is directed. So it can look as a cycle of these three stages that get involved when we start from a motive and finally move towards our goal. Now, the process, of course, is not so simple. The process talks about a couple of steps, which start with an unfulfilled need, want, or desire. To understand this in very simple terms, when we feel thirsty, it's driven by a parched mouth or dry lips, or we feel some uncomfort in our throat, which makes us drink water. Now, that's an unfulfilled need, and it creates a tension in our body. Tension meaning that we want to do something that can suppress or that can satisfy this desire that we have. Now, because there is a tension, we are driven to do something which is reflected by the term drive, which leads to a sufficient or an appropriate behavior, which finally leads to the fulfillment of the goal or the fulfillment of the need. Now, the process from drive to our behavior is, of course, directed by or affected by our past learning, our past experiences, how we have dealt with a similar situation before, so on and so forth. If our goal does get fulfilled at the end of it, we are obviously very satisfied, contented, but if it does not get fulfilled, it goes back to the process of tension and we engage in those steps all over again. Now, when we talk about the major types of motives, we are looking at two major categories as primary motives and secondary motives. Primary motives are vital for survival. They are something that we are born with. They are unlearned. They are physiological or biological. Example, hunger, thirst, sex, the need for sleep, the need for avoiding pain. Everyone has the set of primary needs, but not necessarily everyone has the same set of secondary needs or secondary motives, which takes us to the next segment of what are these secondary motives. Now, from the name secondary, we know that they are not the key motives that drive us, but they are, of course, the learned motives that drive us. They are acquired, they are created by social incentives or personal incentives. And the key secondary motives are achievement motivations, affiliation motives, aggression motives, power motives, and curiosity motives. Moving on, we have two more sets of motivation: intrinsic motivation and extrinsic motivation. Intrinsic, something that drives us from within based on internal factors such as our determination, our curiosity, our ability to challenge, the amount of effort we are putting in. And extrinsic motivation comes from the meaning that it's a motivation that's driven by external incentives, external forces like rewards, punishments, etc. Thank you.